Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls.
You're listening to House of Cards.
Today, the game is different.
I want to gamble. Gambling is a very serious business. Is that clear?
Welcome to House of Cards. Dave Weishuttle with you here, deep from the swamps of Jersey. We got a great show coming up for you. We've had fantasy sports platforms on the show before, but I don't think any site is quite like the one you're going to hear about coming up. The name of it is Units Fantasy Sports, and you choose players in a very unique way. It uses character-driven storylines and narratives to help you pick your players. I think it's an incredibly unique and creative way to play fantasy sports. Talk about fan engagement. And we're going to hear all about it because we are going to talk to Units founder and CEO Torey Korsunsky. When we come back, we're going to find out all about Units Fantasy Sports. So stick around. We'll be right back with House of Cards. Hey, this is Dave Weishuttle from House of Cards with your House of Cards gaming report for the week of November 13th, 2023. The Nevada Gaming Control Board reported almost $1.3 billion in revenue for casino gaming in the Silver State for the month of September. Table games accounted for $456 million, which is an increase of 16.6% from this time last year, and slot machines accounted for $814.6 million, down 5.1% from September of 22. September was the 31st consecutive month that Nevada collected at least $1 billion in gaming revenue. In September, online casino platforms DraftKings, FanDuel, and PointsBet all reported record revenue in the state of Michigan. With that September report, online casinos crossed the $4 billion mark for lifetime revenue in the Wolverine state. It took Michigan 33 months to reach the $4.1 billion milestone, which is an average of $124.3 million per month. And finally, David Rebuck will be honored with a Lifetime Achievement Award at the upcoming East Coast Gaming Congress. Rebuck has helmed the New Jersey Division of Gaming Enforcement since 2011, leading the division through New Jersey's gambling expansion with online casinos and online and retail sports betting. The East Coast Gaming Congress will be held in April in Atlantic City. Congratulations from all of us at House of Cards. Have any news or tips regarding casinos, gaming, or legislation? Send us an email at newsroom@houseofcardsradio.com and follow us on Twitter at HOC Radio. House of Cards is brought to you by Drizzly, your online liquor store. Available in over 95 cities across North America, Drizzly offers a huge selection and competitive pricing with a side of personalized content. Now there's no need to leave the house. Get alcohol delivered in less than an hour by Drizzly. Head on over to drizzly.com and order today. And now get $5 off your first order of $20 or more when using promo code DRINK19 at checkout. Shop beer, wine, and liquor with drizzly.com. For more than 30 years, SCCG Management has set a standard of excellence unmatched in the global gaming industry. From startups to established companies, SCCG Management and its team of experienced leaders help each of their clients navigate the ever-changing, fast-moving business of gaming in all its forms. Sports betting, iGaming, esports, casino technology, SCCG Management provides a global network to connect its clients with the right strategic partners for growth on a global scale. SCCG also works with entrepreneurs, providing capital and resources to assist in the development of new and innovative products and platforms. Whether you're looking to enter the U.S. market, expand your reach to other parts of the world, or establish your business in the global gaming industry, look to SCCG Management for the guidance you need. SCCGmanagement.com. Expert solutions for strategic success.
You're listening to House of Cards. Check out our website at houseofcardsradio.com.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishuttle with you. I'm a big fan of fantasy sports. That's why I'm excited to talk to our next guest. He is one of the creators of something incredibly unique in fantasy sports. The name of the platform is called Units, and it's a real money daily fantasy contest. Use character-driven storylines and narrative. It's an amazing idea, and we're going to find out all about it because on the line we have the founder and CEO of Units, Torey Korsunsky. Torey, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Dave.
I think I told you off air, Units is an absolutely incredible idea. Tell us about the evolution of the platform. I mean, how did this idea come into being?
Yeah, absolutely. The original idea is, found myself ready to watch March Madness, excited for 4 days of basketball wall to wall, but like every year in the past, hadn't watched a second of college basketball and just didn't know where to turn my attention to, whether it's Grand Canyon University or Florida Atlantic University. And March Madness is known for these Cinderella runs where, little known players become national storylines. And I thought to myself, what can I give myself that creates a little bit of context behind the narrative, behind the person, to understand who I should care about, who I should be paying attention to. And we just sort of iterated off that. How do you bring a little bit more context to a real money game in a sport that you may not be paying attention to on a day-to-day basis?
Tell me something about the company itself. I mean, who's involved with Units? Because quite frankly, I think it's one of the most creative fantasy sports sites out there. Tell me about the team that's involved with Units.
Yeah, I appreciate that. We've got an awesome team with great real money gaming experience, with great sports media experience. So it's myself, the founder. I've spent time at Creative Artists Agency on the merchant banking team called Evolution Media Capital, and was also leading growth at WSC Sports in the U.S. We've also got 2 folks from Buzzer on our team, the New York-based sports media company that shut down recently, and a couple folks from PointsBet as well. They were first and third engineering hires at PointsBet USA.
Now, before we get into the nitty-gritty about how you actually play on the Units fantasy sports platform, talk to me about the technology involved. I mean, I've been on some fantasy sites, and they're slow, and some are, really confusing to use. Tell us about Units, because from looking at it, everyone seems to be really raving about how great it is.
Yeah, we really made a strong effort to sort of distill down real money gaming to the simplest version that it could be. So we sort of pulled everything apart, took no preconceived notions about how things should look or exist, and started from the ground up, right? What if we could dream up our own daily fantasy app? What would it look like, right? And that's sort of what Units is this curated content, really easy to use interface, the ability to focus attention on one story at a time, and creating the sort of connection and community between players between players and fans to help fans understand, a little bit more about what's going on with the player, their personal narrative.
We've been hinting about it, and the one thing that really separates Units from other daily fantasy sports platforms is that you have contests based on trending narratives around players and teams and pop culture. Basically, what does that mean? I mean, how are people who play on Units using these narratives to play on Units?
Yeah, the idea is that we give people a little bit more context behind the players that they might not be paying attention to. I grew up in South Florida, and I'm a Dolphins fan, so I know what's going on with the Dolphins up and down, right? I know about Tua and Tyreek, but I don't necessarily know what's going on with the other 31 teams in the NFL. But I'm a sports fan through and through, and I just need a little bit of context to help me get up to speed and clue in on what's going on in the other games. I think you'd have to be living under a rock to have missed the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce narrative that's happening in the NFL. And we've sort of run with that, right? We think it's a really interesting narrative that could explain Travis Kelce's potential performance this past week, this coming week. And, he's got his new extremely famous girlfriend coming to watch him. Is he going to ball out and go off against the Jets, or is he going to have a quiet game and the moment's too big for him? Those are sort of the narratives that we're tapping into. And it's really about being fun and light and creating a little bit of connectivity between the players and fans that I mentioned before, right? Yeah. It's not super serious. You're not digging deep into the analytics. You're not going to run custom models or regression analyses to dive into whether or not Travis Kelce is going to have 70 receiving yards, but you can think about it from a more human perspective. How's he feeling coming into this game, knowing that it's a big matchup? He's got a special guest in attendance, things like that. That's just one example of a more tabloidy version of a story that we're running with.
I love the fact that you're combining sports, media, and daily fantasy sports. I'm curious, how often do you post your narratives on your site, which, by the way, is playunits.co?
So that's playunits.co is sort of like our website, but the experience exists exclusively in app right now.
Okay.
So download Units on the App Store. But we're posting stories every single day. It's the best time of year for sports, in my opinion. MLB playoffs are about to start. We've got NFL in full swing. NBA training camps are about to open. NHL training camps are about to open. Champions League just started. We've got Ryder Cup this weekend. So, it's really endless, right?
Wow.
We're posting stories, brand new stories every day, anywhere from 5 to 15, depending on how much content there is and how many great stories we think they're worth telling. So we've got NFL up right now, college football. We've got some WNBA, some MLB. So we're trying to, capture the best, most interesting storylines across the world of sports.
I'm sure this is a new concept to a lot of people out there who play fantasy sports. I mean, you gave the example of Taylor Swift, and boy, were you thanking the sports gods that story came out. But give us another example of some of the narratives, because I just love how you're combining the sports and the narratives and fantasy sports. I mean, a lot of people, when they think of fantasy sports, they think of cold, hard numbers and stats, but I love the fact they're giving them something different.
Yeah, exactly. There's such a wide range of stories that we can tell. I talked a little bit about the Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift one. It's really fun. It's really exciting. That definitely leans more into, like I said, sort of like the tabloidy, pop culture angle than it does, pure sports, right? Another story that we've got up for Thursday Night Football, week 4 is a story about Sam Laporta, the tight end on the Detroit Lions. He's sort of come out and shocked the NFL. No one knew his name, but he's leading all tight ends with, 60 plus receiving yards. And so we're just pointing fans to this storyline about Sam, which they may not be aware of. He's on national TV for the first time. And it's like, hey, this guy's doing really great. You might not even know who he is, but he's kind of balling out and you should pay attention. So that's another example of a story that leans a little bit more into the football side of things, or the pure sports side of things.
Stick around. We'll be right back with House of Cards.
With costs going up, Adam & Eve is the best deal around. With 50% off a sexy adult product at adamandeve.com. That's 50% off right now when you point the camera on your smartphone at the code on the screen. Don't get up. Just open your camera and point it at the screen. Hurry! You'll also get 10 free gifts, including free discreet shipping at checkout. This is your chance to get more for less. So scan now for 50% off plus 10 free gifts from adamandeve.com.
Drizzly makes it easy to shop a huge selection of beer, wine, and liquor from wherever I am. I just open the app, find what I want, and it's at my door in under 60 minutes.
Drizzly.
Ding dong, Drizzly.
You're listening to the House of Cards.
Why, you cheap crook, stealing a baby's bank. It's only a lend-lease. I figured to bet on the 50 to 1 shot and double the baby's money. Why, you imbecile. Why don't you pick 100 to 1 shot and triple it? Oh, okay.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishuttle with you. This portion of House of Cards is brought to you by SCCG Management, delivering technology-driven capability, expertise, and customer and business value to the gaming industry for over 30 years. For more information, go to sccgmanagement.com. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with Torey Korsunsky, founder and CEO of Units Fantasy Sports.
One thing I've learned from playing on other daily fantasy sports platforms is that a recreational player like myself, let's be honest, I don't have a chance to win big on those sites. I mean, most of the daily fantasy sports players that I've talked to and that I've interviewed, that have written books, they use some algorithm that recreational players just don't have access to. I mean, was that your goal in creating units, something that a recreational player can play and have fun with and, doesn't have to worry about the professional fantasy players who are churning out teams through these computer programs and things like that? Who was your main audience for units?
That's certainly a part of it. I think the more relevant and larger audience is all of these sports fans who are diehard NFL, NBA, MLB fans, but haven't found a real money gaming product that really suits their needs, right? Like you said, they're complex, they're hard to use, the games are being won by professional daily fantasy players. And so it's really about like someone who wants to express their interest in sports and their fandom in a new way, but doesn't know how. And we think that Units is a really simple, easy to use, intuitive product that sort of gets them over the hump and will open up real money gaming to a much wider swath of sports fan, not just daily fantasy player.
Walk us through what we can expect when we start playing fantasy sports on Units. I mean, when I get the app and I log on, what can I expect to see, and how do I start picking players? Give an example of how people would start playing on Units.
Yeah, absolutely. So we've got a really easy sign in process. Just for signing up, you get $5 to make your first entry. And the first thing you'll see is a set of cards, basically, and you can swipe through them. They have a title, they have game information, and then they have, 150 to 200 characters on the story, right? We've got a story about Jordan Love and his dramatic comeback last week. This is, we're talking week 3 of the NFL here.
Yeah.
That story about Sam Laporta that I mentioned, Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift story. And then you go into, NCAA football story about DJ Ugalele, Caleb Williams, of course, Shedeur Sanders after he had a tough game last week. So really just leaning into the biggest, most salient storylines and pointing fans in that direction. And so, you'll see a story, read this sort of quick hit of content, and then you'll have a choice. Will Shedeur Sanders have 308 or more passing yards? Yes or no? You make that selection. You jump to the next story. Story about Brennan Armstrong beating his old team last week. You make a selection. Will Brennan have 50 or more rush yards, right? And you might not have been paying attention, but it's a great nationally televised game on ESPN on Friday night. So that's sort of just the high level approach that we're taking, is pointing fans to the best, most interesting stories, creating that connection between players and fans, and then, letting them win money on top of that as well.
Now, where can people play on Units? What states are you available in?
Yeah, we're in 19 states and Washington, D.C. So we've got pretty good availability. The biggest states that we're available in are Florida, Texas, California, Georgia, Illinois, North Carolina, and then a bunch of other smaller states as well.
I'm curious, you have such a unique platform. Was it difficult to get it approved in states? Because I'm sure regulators and state agencies have never heard of anything like this. Did it take more explaining on your part to get them to understand what Units is?
I think to a certain extent there were some additional conversations about, why we're attaching original content into the gaming experience itself. But by and large, I'd say folks who were in charge of making these decisions were fairly receptive to what we're doing. And we make a conscious effort to not necessarily point a fan or a user in one direction or the other. We try to give a fairly even perspective on the player or the matchup or things like that. We offer a pro, a con, and make sure to keep sort of a balanced, even opinion of each story that we run.
Now, right now, what sports are you offering, and do you have plans on adding more sports as time goes on?
Yeah, absolutely. So we've focused so far on the major sports in the U.S. We've done we've done a MLB, college football, NFL. We've just picked up some WNBA for the playoffs. I mentioned Champions League just started, so we're planning on running stories for the next match day coming up in a week and a half. We're going to pick up UFC for for UFC 294, 295. And we really just work around user feedback. We weren't planning on running WNBA for the playoffs, but some of our early users were basically begging us for WNBA. And so we got up to speed, we added it, and there's some amazing storylines, and I've caught myself tuning into the WNBA playoffs when I might otherwise not have. And so it just really speaks to the power of the platform in its sort of earliest days.
Well, you mentioned user feedback. I mean, what has been the response for Units? I know you just recently launched, but what has been the initial reaction for people who play on Units? I mean, it's such an incredible idea, and when you talk about fan engagement, what better way to do it through a narrative? I mean, what has been the initial reaction from people who played on Units so far?
The feedback's been, in aggregate, really, really positive. I think week 1, week 2 of being alive, we had to really explain to users why this approach is valuable, right? It's such a radical departure from a current daily fantasy experience where you go on, you have to go to other sources to make your picks. You're focused really on the analytics and the numbers behind things. And we're introducing a sort of new user where we're saying, hey, read a story, take 15 seconds to think about it. Consider the feeling a player might be feeling, the Travis Kelce narrative that I mentioned. Is he extra excited for this game in compared to the other games that he might play this season, right?
Yeah.
Think about it from that perspective, and then decide, like, where do you think he's going to land in his yard total or having a touchdown or whatever stat player combo we choose to attach to the story. And so once we got over that initial hump of saying, hey, this is why you should value it, the feedback's been really, really positive, and people have started to get it. We've seen people who refer their friends all submit entries right around the same time. So we know that they're sharing screenshots, talking about it in their group chats. And we can see these packs of entries come in as people have discussions about the stories that we run. And that's exactly the behavior that we wanted to see. And so it's really, really encouraging that we're seeing this sort of organic engagement where people are sharing stories, getting their friends to talk about it, and then all collectively submitting entries right around the same time.
I'm here in New Jersey, and I can't turn on a television or a radio without hearing about fantasy sports and the deals that are being done with media companies. And quite frankly, the concept behind Units would seem like a perfect fit with doing a deal with a media company. I'm curious if you've been approached by media companies, because it just seems like it would be the perfect deal and a partnership with Units. It's such an amazing combination of media and sports and daily fantasy. I'm just curious about if media companies have even approached you.
Yeah, we've been in touch with a bunch of different media companies, definitely leaning more towards the, what I would call digitally native, very online focused publications, ones with big Instagram, TikTok, Facebook followings, and not the ones necessarily that are legacy print media or have cable TV networks or anything like that. I think it's much more in line with where we're headed as a business and our focus and frankly, the target demographic that we're going after, which is a young, modern fan that cares players than they do about teams, that's looking for a connection to their favorite players, that wants to know more about what's going on with them off the field, off the court, in a way that is honestly relatively new to fandom overall. If you look at the sort of history of sports fandom, where you used to, get the out-of-town scores in the newspaper, now you're getting highlights from all over the league instantly on Twitter. And so fandom is much more diverse and broad and player-focused than it ever has been.
In the news, we're seeing professional sport teams or leagues making deals with fantasy sport platforms or sports betting platforms. Does Units Fantasy have any plans to pursue deals with sports teams or leagues, something like that?
Yeah, I think we'd look at everything. And one of the things that really excites me about Units over the long run is that we can become this destination for telling the best player stories across sports, whether it's college football, NFL, international soccer, it doesn't matter what it is. And so there's this angle where we could become sort of the outlet for players to better tell their stories, right? I don't think they'll ever be directly involved because it's real money gaming, of course, and there has to be some sort of separation.
Sure.
I do think there's a really interesting opportunity for players to better share their stories in a way that, they might do on NFL Game Day Morning on ESPN in a longer format. But I think that'll continue to evolve as well.
Stick around. We'll be right back with House of Cards.
going up, Adam and Eve is the best deal around. With 50% off a sexy adult product at adamandeve.com. That's 50% off right now when you point the camera on your smartphone at the code on the screen. Don't get up. Just open your camera and point it at the screen. Hurry! You'll also get 10 free gifts, including free discreet shipping at checkout. This is your chance to get more for less. So scan now for 50% off plus 10 free gifts from adamandeve.com.
Every 40 seconds, a kid is reported missing. Find the Children provides educational material that teaches your kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs are very successful in bringing kids back home to their family. You can help protect our kids and bring the missing kids home safe by donating your unwanted car, truck, SUV, or van, running or not. We guarantee you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast free pickup, usually within 24 hours. Over 2,000 kids are reported missing every day. Call now to donate your vehicle. Donate now to bring these kids home safe.
Call 800-934-2260. 800-934-2260. 800-934-2260.
You're listening to the House of Cards.
Whoa! I think we got a show.
Oh, yeah, we got a show.
We definitely got a show.
Oh, yeah, there's a show. Hey, it's all about ratings, baby, and we got them.
Welcome back to House of Cards. Dave Weishuttle with you. House of Cards is brought to you by the Life Hack Pack from More Labs. Unlock your best self with the Life Hack Pack from More Labs. The Life Hack Pack contains 2 bottles of Morning Recovery, 2 bottles of Dreamwell, and 2 bottles of Liquid Focus. The Life Hack Pack is specially designed to help you live your life not just better, but smarter. Use promo code Radio15 at morelabs.com to get 15% off your first purchase of the Life Hack Pack or any of their other great products. That's promo code Radio15 to take advantage of this great promo of 15% off your first purchase at morelabs.com. You can finally do it all with help from More Labs. For those of you just joining us, I am talking with Torey Korsunsky, founder and CEO of Units Fantasy Sports.
How about sports betting operators? Have you been in contact with sports betting operators, or have they been in contact with you? I know that a lot of them are doing these type of games, part of their sports betting platforms. Would Units be interested in doing something with established sports betting operators right now?
Yeah, I think there's some really interesting opportunities. One of the things that we think about for Units is that it can be perceived as an entry level or an educational platform for real money gaming. I think in some ways it is, and in some ways it's entirely different. But if that is the case, and we do end up becoming, the entry level destination for real money gaming, then it would make a lot of sense to partner with sportsbooks down the road and have someone graduate from Units into a regulated sportsbook in their respective state, where they have access to a wider array of lines and markets and market types. That's, a little bit less hand curated for them, and they're ready at that point to go and pick their own lines, pick their own things that they want to bet on. But for now, the idea that we sort of serve up all the best content and really make it really easy to play. Once we prove that out, then we'll start to explore some of those other discussions.
So tell people how they can start playing Units Fantasy Sports. Where would they go to download the app, and how they go about building their roster?
Yeah, so we are on iOS only right now. You'll go to the App Store, search Units. Should be the number one result. There are a bunch of unit converters as well, which we didn't account for when we named the company. But you'll download it. You'll sign in either via Google or via Apple, which you're most likely logged into on your phone already. So it's a really one tap to make an account. We have a quick onboarding experience to show you how to play, what you do, how you select your stories, how you make your entries. And then from there, you can start reading immediately. You can go see stories about the NFL. We've got Thursday Night Football, WNBA, MLB all going tonight. College football into the weekend, NFL on Sunday, of course. And you can pick anywhere from 2 to 5 stories, 2 to 5 players, And as you increase the number of players on your roster, your multiplier increases, right? So if you make 2 picks, you can win 3x your money. And if you make 5 picks, you can win 20x your money. And if you get all of them right, you get paid out. So it's a really simple game format, really easy to use. And we're trying to guide people through the experience with that original content like we've been talking about.
In terms of growth for Units, what are your plans for the future? Where do you hope to see Units in a year from now?
In a year from now, I'd hope we've had a great run through our first year of life. We have some metrics and targets that we want to hit in terms of user acquisition, monthly active users, overall revenue. But as we're sort of just getting our feet under us, I think we're still in the finding our footing mode and making sure that everything's working. The product doesn't crash on people, which it hasn't so far. And, in a year from now, I'd hope to have a much wider degree of coverage and have continued to roll out some what we would call more engaging functionality, where the platform feels more and more alive and interactive, and fans can connect with each other. Whereas right now, it's sort of a single player experience where you go on, you don't necessarily know that there are other people making the same picks as you or choosing the other side or anything like that. So there's a lot of stuff that we could do on the sort of interactivity front to make it even more fun to play.
Torey, we're running out of time, but can you give out a website where people can check out Units and where they can download the app? Also, if you have any social media addresses you want to give out so people can keep up with what's going on with Unit Fantasy Sports?
Sure. So you can go on the Apple App Store, search Units, will be the first result. And then you can also navigate to our website, PlayUnits, PlayUnits.co. And you can get a link to download from there as well.
Torey Korsunsky, founder and CEO of Units Fantasy Sports, thanks so much for coming on and telling us all about your incredible fantasy sports platform. I think Units is one of the most unique platforms out there, and I can't wait to give it a try. Thanks so much for coming on and telling us all about it.
Thanks so much for having me, Dave. Really, really great to be here, and excited to come back on in the near future.
Absolutely. We'd love to have you.
Stick around. We'll be right back with more House of Cards. Beating the House is brought to you by Thrive Fantasy. Experience a new way to play daily fantasy sports and esports on Thrive Fantasy. Choose your lineup of over-unders for top-tier athletes that have the biggest impact on the game. The more points the selection is worth, the riskier it is. Rack up the most points and win a share of the prize pool. Thrive Fantasy has contests for traditional sports, including the NFL, NBA, MLB, and the PGA, as well as esport titles like Counter-Strike, League of Legends, and Valorant. Visit the prop lobby and build your entry of 2, 3, or 4-player predictions. Choose correctly, and you could win big. Sign up with Thrive Fantasy today with promo code PIKE, and Thrive Fantasy will match your first deposit of $25 or more up to $250. That's promo code PIKE for a first deposit match up to $250. Come and prop up today with Thrive Fantasy. Terms and conditions apply. Must be at least 18 years old and in the United States to play. Void where prohibited. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
It's a casino. People gotta win sometime.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a giant, colorful check to deposit.
Welcome to another edition of Beating the House. I'm Doug Weishuttle here with Dave Weishuttle. We're going to be crisscrossing the country, sometimes North America, sometimes the world, talking about the latest jackpots that have gone on in the casino and lottery industries. If it's $100,000 or more, we will be talking about it on this show. Press releases, info at turnpikesportsradio.com. Keep them coming in. We love hearing from everybody out there, getting more and more every week, and it's great publicity for some of these casinos and lottery commissions.
Yeah. So.
Sometimes we have bad beats, sometimes we have sports bets, but this week we've got slots and lottery.
Okay, just slots and lottery.
Slots and lottery. And I'm looking at my notes here. I have a little highlighted one. It's another table game. So we have slots, table games, and lottery.
All right.
No bad beats, no sports betting this week, but there were a couple interesting ones that didn't reach the $100,000 or more. So.
Okay.
But right now, we're going to start off going to the great state of Washington.
All right.
We're going to the Swinomish Casino and Lodge.
Swinomish. Okay. All right.
Called The Swim, as its nickname.
Okay. All right.
Swin. The Swin.
Swin.
The Swin.
Okay.
This happened back on October 20th. I just was sent the press release last week. Mm-hmm. On Friday, October 20th, a lucky guest had a $10 bet on the 5 Treasures Explosion slot from Light & Wonder.
By the way, I have never heard of that.
The casino or the game?
No, the game. But that might be one of those slot machines when you know it, when you see it kind of thing. You know, you see all these different...
You've actually seen it.
I have actually seen it. So you guarantee I've actually seen this walking on a gaming floor, and I've seen
I can tell you the 2 places you have seen it.
Okay.
Because you actually pointed out, because there was a whole bank of these types of machines. It was in Live Philly.
Okay.
And also you saw it at Bally's. In Atlantic City.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
5 Treasures Explosion.
Well, like I said,
it's an Asian theme. It's an Asian themed game.
Okay.
So,
it's one of those things where, you know when you see it when you walk onto a gaming floor, but if you actually know the actual name of it, I wouldn't know it. So is it called 5 Treasures
5
Explosion?
Treasures Explosion. This is a wide area progressive jackpot before I announce what it was, which means it's hooked into other slot machines at other casinos under the operation of these tribes.
Okay.
It was a $10 bet, 5 Treasures Explosion, $1,490,484.45.
Wow. And this was Friday, the October 20th. Okay.
Yes.
All right. Congratulations.
Yes.
Wow.
And by the way, remember last week's conversation when we brought up the casino starting off as bingo halls?
Yeah.
This is one of those.
Oh, okay.
Swinomish started out back in 1985 as a small bingo operation operated by the Swinomish tribal community out in Washington.
All right.
And it has grown into the Swinomish Casino and Lounge. Along
Lodge.
With Lodge.
Not lounge.
Well, that's
I'm sure
they have a gaming lounge.
I'm sure they have
Yes.
lounges in there. So.
They also have the Swinomish Golf Links course attached to it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the casino right now, 650 slot machines. There are table games. There's Keno, actually easy Keno kiosks.
Okay.
They're actually machine kiosks.
All right.
And a Unibet sportsbook.
Oh, wow, a Unibet
sportsbook.
That's interesting. I've yet to ever be in an Unibet retail sportsbook. Interesting.
That's why I put this in there.
Because first off, Unibet is like one of my favorite mobile ones to do because it's easy. It's easy on the eye. Everything is laid out for you. It's very simple to use. So no, I'd be very interested to go to a Unibet retail sportsbook.
You know, you're right. I have never seen one either, and I don't know if there's anyone in Pennsylvania, New Jersey. I know Massachusetts doesn't have one. Connecticut, no.
I don't know.
So I don't know where a retail Unibet sportsbook is. No word on how big it was. They didn't mention how big it was.
I'd be
on
very
the site,
curious to see that, though.
But yeah,
I like their mobile product, so I would be very interested in seeing their retail product.
You know, you're right. The app for it, it's very clean, very efficient, very swift when you use it.
It doesn't. When you log on to it, it doesn't hit you with a wave of numbers. There are some sports books that you go onto your computer or your phone. It's just it's like rows and rows of numbers. Unibet seems to be set up really nice. It's easy on the eye. You can follow it very quickly. You can find bets. So I like the way it's set up. Good for Unibet. Stick around. We'll be right back with more House of Cards.
Attention. If you owe back taxes to the IRS, watch this urgent message. The IRS is cracking down by hiring 87,000 new agents to garnish your paycheck and put liens on homes and businesses. They can even seize your bank account. The IRS calls it enforced compliance, and now they have the manpower to get you. Penalties and interest on unpaid taxes compound daily. So call One Stop Tax Relief Shop and get the IRS off your back. They're experts in the Fresh Start Initiative, one of the biggest breaks the IRS has ever offered. And no other tax shop gets you more or faster approvals. One Stop Tax Relief has resolved thousands of cases since 2014 and saved clients millions of dollars. Call now for a free consultation. Connect with tax professionals who get the IRS off your back.
Call 800-605-0688. 800-605-0688.
One Stop Tax Relief Shop.
It's a casino. People gotta win sometime.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm a giant, colorful check to deposit.
Welcome back to Beating the House. This is Doug Weishuttle here with Dave Weishuttle. We're continuing our crisscrossing of the country, talking about the jackpots that have gone on in the casino and lottery industry over the past week. We're going to leave Washington State. We're going to Horseshoe, Las Vegas now.
All right.
We have Gloria B. from Ontario, Canada, hitting a mega progressive jackpot, playing Mississippi Stud Poker on a Wednesday at 10 a.m.
Oh, okay. That's a
jackpot was $222,899.
Hey, you know what? Anytime you win a jackpot, that's a good time to play.
She was visiting Las Vegas with her daughter, so that there was.
It's usual. It's unusual to have someone who's visiting Las Vegas who isn't from Hawaii winning these things. It seems like every time we do a jackpot, that like if it's not a local, it's someone from Hawaii visiting. So what do they call Vegas with the ninth island?
The ninth island.
Okay,
the ninth island.
So,
and actually they.
Well, there's a question. If you live in Hawaii, which is a vacation paradise, where do you vacation? I guess it's Las Vegas. I guess that's the.
You go to the ninth island.
Yeah, ninth island, Vegas.
And it seems with the Hawaiian visitors, they usually go to the Hawaiian Gardens.
Oh, yeah, I would guess.
Yeah, so that's actually one of the big ones for that.
You get Hawaiian
I guess it's
everything
a taste of
on
home.
Hawaii. Why would you do that in Las Vegas?
It's a taste of home, I guess.
I guess.
I mean, they have no casino gambling out there. I don't think they even have a.
I don't think they have lottery.
They don't have anything.
Yeah.
They don't have anything.
I always said, why not Hawaii? That'd be a perfect place for a casino resort. It'd be beautiful there. But,
well,
hey.
It's the one area of the country, the one state that has an interstate highway, and they're not connected to the country. So I don't know why they have an interstate highway.
Why they call it interstate highway.
We're going from casinos now. We got a bunch of lottery stories to hit.
All right.
We're going to start off with the press release I got from Instant Win Gaming, which is a supplier of the e-instant games for the online lotteries in this country.
Okay.
They had a record-setting jackpot just recently.
Oh.
And it actually encompasses one of our sponsors here, the Virginia Lottery as well.
Okay.
By the way, sign up with Virginia Lottery, Lotto 21, get a special sign-up offer from the Virginia Lottery. This is the Mega Money Jackpots. It's in a couple different states. It's in Virginia. It's also in Pennsylvania as well.
Okay.
This was the largest prize from a online casino, the online instance, $1.9 million. $1,910,544 Mega Money Jackpot, playing the Jackpot Spectacular game. See, that's where I was a little confused when I got this press release. The Mega Money Jackpot is attached to several different games.
Okay.
This one was won in Virginia on the Virginia Online Lottery. Jackpot Spectacular, they have the Mega Money Jackpot tied in. There's 3 games on Virginia that tie into this.
Okay.
So anyone could have won that on those 3 games that they have. But this one was a Jackpot Spectacular, $1,910,544 to be exact. The Mega Money Jackpots started only in July this year.
Oh, okay. So it's
so far,
relatively new thing.
So far, 4 players have won $1 million jackpots.
Wow.
1.9
since July,
million,
huh?
Since July. 1.9 million this one. We had a 1.8 million. We had a 1.3 million and 1 million.
Okay.
Since it launched on July, and this is the date, July 11th of this year, 85 players have won mega and minor jackpots, according to Instant Win Gaming, totaling over $7.6 million so far.
Okay.
And this is a brand new game.
Yeah, no.
I should say a brand new jackpot.
If I was in Virginia, I'd jump on the Virginia Lottery. So.
Lotto 21, people.
Yeah, wow.
Staying with the Virginia Lottery, we've got a couple of quick hits here for you. We've got Cameron F. from Dillwyn, Virginia, winning $253,962 playing the Virginia bonus wheel.
Okay.
Sherman N. in Fairfax, $418,009 on the print and play rolling jackpot. Now, what that is, that's an interesting game. When you're online, you can actually purchase the ticket and it prints out, and you take it to your retailer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yep. You can also do it at the retailer, too. They can log in
Okay.
and print out a ticket for you that way, too.
All right. I've never heard of that before. That's great.
What print and play means.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. I'm starting to see that more and more often now.
So
I
guess it's just like a barcode kind of thing?
It's a barcode kind of thing. Yeah.
All right.
And again, like I said, you can do it yourself, or you can go to a retailer in Virginia, and they can actually do it for you. And give
So
you a
what is that game called?
This was the rolling jackpot, but it was the print and play rolling jackpot.
All right.
We're going to leave Virginia. We're going up 95. We're going to go to New Jersey.
All right.
We got a New Jersey player who did a pit stop on Route 17 at the BP station. No name, has not claimed it yet. So
is this a relatively recent win?
This just happened 2-3 days ago from when we were taping.
Okay.
Has not claimed the ticket yet. One ticket matched all 5 numbers in the Jersey Cash 5 drawing, worth $494,247. And the person does have a year to claim. So,
well, yeah. But look, if you win,
I think that person may be sooner than
substantial.
Later. Yep.
So you always want to get things in order.
Yes.
You want to, if you have an accountant or a lawyer or a money person who a financial planner, you always want to talk to them before.
Yes.
You get everything in order before you claim it.
And by the way, this won't be the last BP station we're talking about.
Oh, wow. Big week for BP.
Yes. We're going out west again. We're going to the California Lottery this time. Here we have a woman who has been filled with regret, according to the press release I received.
This was part of a press release?
This was, yeah. Well,
you rarely see a press release with the words filled with regret.
6 years ago.
All right.
She got the first 3 tickets off the new roll of the new game Instant Prize Crossword from the California Lottery.
Okay.
She won $75 on the 3 tickets.
All right.
Then she found out that the 4th ticket on the roll, $2 million.
Wow. Okay.
So she has been sitting there thinking about this as she's been playing. She told the lottery this. She's been thinking about that first time.
Okay.
So what she did was she bought 4 tickets from the new roll at the lotteries at the retailer of the Instant Prize Crossword ticket again.
Mm-hmm.
She bought 4 tickets this time.
Okay.
$2 million jackpot on the 4th ticket.
Wow. So I guess the number 4 ticket is
off
really,
a new roll.
Off a new roll. Oh my goodness. Someone's got to check on that one.
Yes.
That's
so
an interesting thing.
That's a weird occurrence, too.
So if you see a new roll, it'll be worth your time and worth your money to buy 4 tickets off a brand new roll, huh?
Or don't stop at 3.
Yeah.
Because even when I buy quick picks, I don't do 3, I don't do 5, I do 4.
Really?
I don't know why that is.
Is there something about
the
that?
random number generator, when you hit 4, the 5th one starts repeating some of the numbers from the other one. And I've been noticing that, so I stay 4. Sometimes I do 3, but
I know a lot of people who get like quick pick tickets. Like, say if you have 5 drawings off a quick pick ticket, they get them on different tickets because they think the random number generator will kind of mix them up more.
That's true.
It is?
That's
okay.
true.
Well, all right.
Because every time a ticket prints, the random number generator resets itself.
I'm sure someone's written a book on lottery.
We had a lottery guy on.
Yeah, I know, but he wasn't like giving.
He did the history.
He wasn't giving strategy.
No. But there are sites out there that do lottery strategy. So check those out.
There are books that do strategy for slot machines. So I don't, I don't how they do that, but whatever.
Well, last word on the California Lottery. Her last statement in the press release to the California Lottery. It was a horrible feeling that she finally got rid of.
Yeah, no,
I would too for $2 million.
Boy, I'm glad that happened to her. So
we're going to leave California. We're going to Michigan. Michigan lottery story. We have the Lotto 47 game that they have in Michigan. Now, according to the Michigan Lottery, no one has been winning this game since August.
What do you mean?
The Lotto 47. No one has been winning the jackpot.
The big one.
The big jackpot.
So has it been building kind of thing?
It has been building.
All right.
And what happened was, this past weekend, one person has won the drawing from, this is from Saturday, October 28th.
Mm-hmm.
They matched all 6 numbers and won the $1 million jackpot.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is where it got interesting. When you look at the story behind this, no one had won since August. This is the second one in 3 days.
Wow.
$1 million jackpots.
All right.
So it's starting to kick out now. This is the 5th time this year, but no one really has won since August. There was 2 in 3 days now.
Okay. All right.
So if you're in Michigan, Lotto 47 seems to be hitting now.
Yeah, that's the way it goes, I would guess.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's one of those, I guess, random number generator situations,
I don't know.
I guess, again. But anyway, prior to the last couple of wins here, no one's won since August. So now it's 2 times in 3 days.
Okay, well, hey.
We're going to finish up in the North Carolina lottery. We've got a lottery winner of $266,982. He won the ticket from a BP station.
Another BP, huh?
Thanks to a lucky penny.
A lucky penny.
He was walking into the station to pay for his gas and also to pick up his lottery tickets. He saw a penny on the ground. And you know the old saying?
Yeah.
See a penny, pick it up.
All the day you'll have good luck.
But it has to be heads up.
That's my question. Does it have to be like a certain way? The head has to be up.
Head has to be facing
and you
up.
have to pick it up, and that's when you get good luck.
Lincoln has to be able to breathe. So he's got to be facing up to get the good luck into his nose.
Okay. All right.
So he picked up a lucky penny right before he bought the ticket.
All right.
Got the ticket. $266,000. It was actually a $66,000 jackpot, but something told him to get the extra, the extra payment. There was like a little boost to it.
Okay.
Extra $200,000.
Wow.
So $266,000. That's a hell of a penny.
That was a boost better than the actual jackpot.
Yes. But I'll be honest with you. You better hold on to that penny.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, keep that penny.
I would frame it.
Yes. Last story of the week, we've got a $236,439 fast play jackpocket.
Is this still in North Carolina?
This is still North Carolina.
Okay.
This was basically he went into the store, bought the ticket. As soon as he bought the ticket, he noticed that something was going on with the jackpot. The jackpot was changing. He went in the next day. And he saw the jackpot went down to whatever it was down to $20,000.
Wait. Are you telling me that the guy bought the ticket? The ticket was churned out.
The jackpot
and
was changing.
all of a sudden,
no. The jackpot was changing.
Okay.
He noticed it was changing, so he thought something was weird was going on with the sign.
Okay.
So he went home with his ticket.
All right.
Came in the next day. He saw the jackpot had reset to the lowest amount, so he figured someone else had won. And he actually didn't even bother checking his ticket until he got back home from the store.
Wow, okay.
And he looked at it, and he saw that he had won the $236,439 jackpot.
Wow.
Which was the last jackpot number he saw on the sign when he left the store the day before.
Okay.
So kind of weird coincidences there.
I mean, I have, I look at if I want to buy a lottery ticket, I look at how much you could possibly win. I never look at it after I buy a ticket. So
no, I don't think to look at it.
Never even think of it like that.
But he was watching it, and he saw his number pop up. His jackpot popped up when he left the store.
Oh, okay.
But he didn't know it until he actually checked the ticket.
Wow.
The next day.
That's an interesting.
That's a weird little
situation.
Yeah,
there.
exactly.
Yeah.
But again, it's just one of those things. That's it for this week's Beating the House. Press releases, info@turnpikesportsradio.com. Keep them coming in. We love hearing from you. Congratulations to all our winners this week. Congratulations to all the winners we didn't talk about. We only do $100,000 or more, so there's a lot more winners out there, so congratulations to everybody.
Well, that'll do it for us this week. We'll see you next time with House of Cards.
Across the desert plain, you build a house of cards around a loveless